Hello, hello. Welcome on in. I know it's been a minute since we chatted about the Orioles. We've had a busy couple weeks on the podcast, a bachelor party for our dear friend Brian Banks Black. Took Jake and I out for a couple days, but we are back. As always, the Exit 52 podcast. As you can see, I'm solo today. Again, Jake got wrapped up in some work stuff, but definitely wanted to come live and chat about the O's. Again, as always, sponsored by Jimmy's Famous Seafood, the best place. I'm maybe up there for the Home Run Derby. I know they have some Orioles trivia, I believe, going on that week. But again, as always, sponsored by Jimmy's. Go out and check them out. We had to postpone the Grayson Rodriguez Meet the Birds that was supposed to be tonight, but we have a couple tickets left for the Adam Jones Meet the Birds event on July 24th. So that is a Thursday, July 24th. So hopefully we'll see you guys out there. But again, the fun weekend, very fun weekend in Atlanta. Not a very fun week. That was the week of Texas, which was a weird, wonky series. I can't even remember that far back the game that the Orioles ended up winning in extras. Very fun game. The rest of the series not that fun. But yeah, again, sweeping the Braves, who we've talked about some bad teams. The Red Sox have kind of found their way back. The Orioles have obviously had their struggles. The Braves their fans. If you have not checked in with their fans, they are not happy about the state of their team and all that. I don't blame them. Their offense is not performing, and I don't know how they're not with all those guys. I don't know. It's kind of like a look in the mirror thing. Carol, as always, hello. We appreciate you. Yes, Alex, show can start. Carol's in the chat. She is the unofficial starter for the show. Shout out, Carol. We love all the support from everyone, especially her. But again, yeah, it was a fun week, a fun weekend at least. Again, the Orioles claw back to they're 9 games under now. You know, they were at that. Jake and I talked about how they couldn't really get over the 11 or 10 games under 500. Now they're at 9, so they're slowly inching their way up. 6-4 in their last 10. Like I said, winners of 3 in a row. Again, they're playing much better ball as of late. I did see, shout out to my guys at Utah Street Report. It's actually where I got my start. I feel like not a lot of people know that. That's where I had an internship before Barstool. But go check them out. Orioles are 24-15 in the last 39 games. 24-15. That's good. They're playing much, much better. Again, it took them a little bit to get going, but the last 39 games, it's not really a small sample size. But again, they're playing better. And again, the sweep in Atlanta. I mean, what more could you ask for? It was kind of dominated by the pitching side. As I pull up these game logs, trying to remember. Yeah, I mean, they were all good games. Friday, we got a 3-2 game. Charlie Morton, man. I mean, what else can you say about Charlie? He has completely, I don't want to say reinvented himself. He's 41. We kind of know what he is now. But man, he's been so good ever since they talked about it on the broadcast, I believe. But ever since he went down to the bullpen and came back, I mean, he's been really good. Friday night against his old team, a team that he really enjoyed pitching for. I think he and Strider are still very close. If you heard them talk about it, I think Strider was like, I got emotional seeing him over there, and he was like a dad and a friend and all that. So Morton, if you listen to the post game on Friday night, I don't know which one of the beat reporters it was, but they asked him about what it was like to come back to Atlanta, and he gave one of his 4.5-minute answers. And I think they eventually had to play him off on the broadcast because they had to get back to a commercial. But you could tell, I mean, he was fired up to pitch there. I think he was hitting some numbers he hadn't hit in a while. But again, yeah, Charlie got the tribute video. Joe, I've told myself I'm only going to bust out 2 out of 3, probably sweep if they get back to 500. That'll be where I can break it out again. But going back to Morton, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks, 1 home run. He shouldn't have given up any runs at all. There was a call on a strike 3, or it should have been strike 3, where it was called a ball for some reason. And wouldn't you know it, the next pitch was a 2-run home run. And again, that's the only thing stopping them from getting a shutout that game. But I mean, Morton he's just been incredible. He's been really, really good. Let me see. I got some stats pulled up here. Where were they? A lot of whiffs that game. It was a season high in whiffs, according to our friend Jake Rill, former McDaniel guy like myself. 297 in his last 36 in a third inning, I think it was. I just lost that 36 in the third inning. Again, I mean, he had an ERA of almost 10, and it's still down in the 5, so it doesn't look great. But his last couple games, I mean, his last 7 starts, 297 ERA. Like I said, that's the 36 in the third inning, 1.32 whip, 44 Ks, 11 walks. So guys aren't getting on. They're not getting free passes. And I mean, he's given up 37 hits, but that's going to happen. Guys are going to hit him. But again, overall, he has just been much, much better. Talking to a buddy, shout out Nate. We love our good Resi alumni here. But I was talking to a buddy, and they were like, man, who would have thought, like, if 2 months ago you would have told me that I was more excited for Trevor Rogers and Charlie Morton starts than you were Sagano and Eflin. That wouldn't have been I don't know where that would have come from. Carol, no, Jake is not hungover. He had work stuff. Last weekend we got back from Philly on Sunday, and it was a long weekend. So and again, we did not watch much of that series either. But again, the O's they were able to win that game Friday. Nice. They've done this, and I think there was a note. I think they've won like 5 or 6 of the first games of the series, and then obviously we know that they'll usually drop the second one and the third one most of the time. But yeah, they just continue this trend of winning the first one. Again, as long as you win 2 out of 3, that's really all that matters. But O's were able to do that. A nice win on 4th of July, kind of get that going. Bautista came in, got the save again against Spencer Strider too, who he's been on the IL a couple times. He came off and then he went back on, but he's still a really good pitcher. And the O's were able to get him and again pull out that win. Saturday was the kind of a slobber knocker, 9-6. Again, Felix gets the win there. Cano with the save. I don't think I saw Saturday's game. I don't remember. I don't know. But again, a 9-6 win, pulled another one out in extra innings, just like they did in Texas. And yeah, it was a good one. Dean, not one of his better starts, but again, he was able to keep it manageable. He gave up the 5 earned runs in 4 1/3, 8 hits, 3 Ks. He gave up 2 home runs. From there, though, the bullpen. I mean, Scott Blewett, I was kind of giving him some crap on Twitter, when I think he had loaded the bases with no outs and was like, all right, just get this over with quick. Let's make this go. Jaden, I feel you. Yes, that's right. Now I'm slowly remembering. I'm getting some grays in my beard too. So again, we're just getting to that kind of that part of life. But again, the bullpen that night was very good. Soto, and again, a lot of these guys pitched back-to-back nights. Soto 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 1 K. Blewett again loaded the bases, only got out of it. 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 walks, and a K. Again, only giving up the 1 run there. That won them the game. I think Kramer talked about it post game too, being like he was really, really good. Blewett, he played really well. Kittredge was awesome. A clean inning. Baker, 3 Ks and a walk. I mean, what else can you say about Baker? He has just been a monster this year. I was quietly hoping that he would get some all-star buzz. It's very hard for those middle reliever guys to kind of get an all-star nod without the saves. But Baker, man, 2.58 ERA. He's striking out everyone. He's letting you know it. He's pumped up. He's awesome. And then again, Felix got the win, 2 Ks in the 9th. And then Cano, we saw the return of Cano. Jack, you think I look like Mark Andrews? I don't think so. I'm a 1.5 feet shorter than him. I don't think so. He wouldn't be wearing this shirt either, I don't think. The Kyle Stowers revenge. Hey, listen, we're done with the Stowers stuff. Good for him. He's playing well in a place that he wasn't going to play here. Good for him. It's awesome. It's awful. Yeah. See, Adam Eflin. See, Adam gets it. But again, we're done with that. We'll talk about that in the Marlins series. But again, the Saturday game was just a complete game. Overall, it was really fun to see them kind of come back and get that. That was the that's right. That was the game with all the home runs. You had welcome back Tyler O'Neill, 445-foot solo home run to deep left. Jordan Westberg smoked that ball, 461, to a part of the ballpark that I had never even known was there. I didn't know they had water up on that second ledge in Atlanta. You may not see some balls there hit there in the home run derby. And then Kowser with another big one too. So They got those 3 monster home runs. And it was the Garrett Stallings games, or not Garrett Stallings, Jacob Stallings. Sorry. Again, I had no clue who he was when they signed him, but he's here now, baby. He came in for, stop me if you've heard this before, an Orioles catcher got hurt. I don't know if that's a new thing to you, but Jacob Stallings came in, had the biggest hit of his Orioles career, and again had that double down the line. Very impressive by him to come in mid-game and be able to, again, navigate that game, going into extras, probably catching guys that he probably hasn't caught before or even has met before maybe. But again, that was a very fun game. The way that they were able to battle back, took an early lead, tied it up, kind of went down, was able to get the lead back, and then again was able to pull it out in extras. That was a very well fought game. Somebody else, I was talking to somebody before, and they had said, this is a game where they would have lost this game once they went back down, or once it was tied up. But 2 months ago, they would have lost this game 10-1 or something like that, or 10-4, 10-5, whatever. But again, that was a very impressive game that they were able to pull out. And again, you take care of the series, you at least get yourself a series win, and then you leave it up to the last game on Sunday for a chance at a sweep. And that's what the Orioles got to do to kind of claw back into this thing. And we'll go to that game on Sunday. Where were you for yet another Trevor Rogers awesome performance? Let me pull up the stats here. 5 MLB starts this year for Rogers, a 1.57 ERA and a .87 WHIP. 3 of those outings, he's left to scoreless outings too. So the Orioles really, their season really kind of took a 180 and turned around when Rogers started that game in Boston. Again, I think that was 39 game. That may be the mark, but they've really turned it around since then. They beat a really good pitcher in Holmes on Sunday. And again, 2-1 win. All it took was a Jackson Holliday. I don't know if it was wind aided, humidity aided. I talked to Brendan Mortensen from Masson. I asked him to go down and check to see if he could confirm that they were using the home run derby balls, because the ball was flying. That Jackson ball should have never gotten out. Then never ever gotten out. That was a pop up to shallow to middle of the right field. I didn't think that was getting out at all. But he got just enough on it to get it out, and that's all they needed. 4-for-4 day for young Jackie. So again, it was awesome to see that. They didn't do anything else really. They had 6 hits total. Again, Jackson had 4 of them. They only scored 2 runs. Atlanta with the 1 run off a Sean Murphy home run in the 9th. He almost had another home run earlier that they called a double. I don't have Roku, so I didn't see it. But again, it was Jackson with 4, Laureano with a hit, and then Jacob Stallings again with a hit. So 1 for 3 for him. Laureano was 1 for 3. Everyone else had offers. O'Hearn with 2 walks, Cowser with a walk, and Mayo with a walk too. So again, they got just enough what they needed. Our young Jackie really needed that kind of game. Yeah, Jackson had been slumping here. I mean, I can pull him up. He's been slumping for a while, and it was nice to see him get that, be able to pull that, let me see, to get some hits and kind of get it going. Again, he had a hit on, what was it, Saturday, I think, to score a run to untie the game. Ball kind of went under Albie's glove there. But yeah, Jackson, last 7 games, batting .241, 290 OBP. I would still like to see his on-base percentage climb up a little bit on the year. He's at 309. He's batting .260. Again, I would love to see those walks get up there and get that OBP 340, 350 and start really cooking from there. 724 OPS. Again, he's 21 years old. We saw the struggles last year, but it's night and day difference still. Last 15 games for him, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, 20 strikeouts, 5 walks. He's batting .288 with a 338 on-base percentage. And then last 30 games, he's .246, 295 OBP, 4 home runs, 11 RBIs. So again, as a leadoff guy, you want to see your guy getting on base a little more and getting up there. But yeah, it's it was nice to see him he put the team on his back and he won that game. Flat him and Trevor Rogers were like, hey, we got it, guys. Take the day off from here, and they were able to secure the sweep. So, like I said, he's 21 years old, playing the way he's playing. He's making some really good defensive plays, making some nice throws, and just really holding his own in the field. So, all-star snub. I said it a couple weeks ago. I thought he would have been an all-star. Then obviously he cooled down a little bit. So I don't think he's a snub. It would have been cool to see him get there, but I also don't hate that he's going to get some rest and can kind of relax and enjoy himself before this second half starts, and they basically have playoff games the whole time. So Jaden here, question: what do you think the plan is for Mayo once Mounty's healthy? I don't know. I mean, Mayo has played well. Again, he seems just we see it with Holliday, but so much more comfortable and just kind of like, I got it. I'm good. I'm gonna let it come to me. Again, I'm trying to pull up his stats now. The numbers won't blow you off the page or anything like that. He's not making a run for a rookie of the year or anything. I don't even know if he's still technically a rookie. But again, he's batting 211, 268 on base percentage. But his last 7 games, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, a walk, 5 strikeouts. He's batting 250 with a 286 OBP. Last 15 games, 244, 292. Last 30 games, 211, 268. But again, I mean, he doesn't look overpowered. He doesn't look out of place like in the batter's box. He's making fine plays at first. I don't know what the plan is. I mean, they need these right-handed hitters to someone to come alive. They need the power. Obviously, Westberg is giving them that power. And man, what a fun week when he's healthy. God, we talk about it so much, but Jordan Westberg really he stirs it up. He is the straw. I say that about everyone, but he really gets it going when he's playing well. They kind of follow his marching orders and go with him. He plays such a good defensive third base and he hits the ball. I didn't know he had 460 in his bag. I was not familiar with your game, Jordan Westberg, to know that you do that. So again, Adam was talking about that here. Westy's amazing, has to stay healthy. That's the thing too. I mean, the finger injury, that left finger holding the bat, it must have really been bothering him. People complaining like, they don't want him to slide. He's a competitor. He's a beast. He's a robot. I think he's just programmed to play baseball. It's really hard to tell a guy like that, hey, stop sliding head first. It's just natural. It's an instinct that he's been doing for 20 years, 25, however long he's been playing baseball. It's the same thing with Cowser robbing the balls at the wall. How many people were like, he has to stop jumping at the wall. He's going to get hurt again. He's going to do this. And then he robs that home run versus, was that Tampa, I think? And it's like, oh yeah, you love when he makes those kind of plays. So you can't tell these guys like, hey, don't, the first time somebody sees Jordan Westbrook kind of coasting in a second because he doesn't want to slide hands first, people are going to lose their mind. So again, he's a warrior. He's played baseball. He knows how to play baseball one way. And that's really the only way to do it. Joe, your Arkansas bias. Yankees killed Heston's career. I don't know. I mean, he never looked the same after that Luke Weaver ear hole. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to what he's been doing in AAA, but hopefully we'll see him again soon. And, you can never have enough lefty bats on there on the team. But again, hopefully we see Heston soon. Again, I got to check out his what he's been doing in AAA. But back to Trevor Rogers too. Awesome, just awesome stuff for him. I don't know, he's very easy to root for. If you watched his or heard his post game stuff, or you couldn't watch it or hear it, if you read it on Sunday after that game in Atlanta, he said, he struggled. I think it was 0-7 with the Marlins there. And he said, he was like, this place, excuse my French, he said, this place used to kick my ass. So again, that was a big mental thing, I think, for him going in there and carving them up and just pitching really, really well. 6 2/3. He could have stayed in there and gone 7, but 6 2/3, 4 hits, 2 walks, 6 Ks. Again, on paper, that's a very good lineup. I mean, Profar, Olsen, Austin Riley, Sean Murphy. There was no Acuna in there on Sunday. That's a really good lineup. Those guys hit. Acuna hit, pinch hit. It was 0 for 1. But again, those guys, I mean, that's a very scary top 4. Ozzie Albies hasn't been what he has been before. But again, Austin Riley, we saw the damage he can do. Matt Olson is just an awesome hitter. I think he broke his 33 game on base streak this series. And Profar had a great year last year, coming off the PED suspension this year. But again, he's just getting going. But yeah, credit to Trevor Rogers, who again we kind of crapped on over and over, and people, all they wanted to do was talk about Norby and Stowers, and I can't believe that's the return. That one, I don't know, that guy called it the worst trade in Orioles history. the worst trade in Orioles history, like Kurt Schilling and Jake Arrieta and some of those other guys, didn't exist. Like we're just playing that card. So again, Trevor Rogers with a nice big FU to a lot of people who hated on him and who question, why is he starting? Why is he getting these, why is he on the roster? Why is he this and that? All he's done is shove, and that's all you can hope for. He's been awesome, so I'm very happy for him. He can, imagine if he comes in and he can keep doing this. I think I said with Jake, like, man, imagine if Rogers can come in and pitch to like a 3.5, 3.6 ERA. Like, he's pitched 5 games, obviously small sample size. 2-0 with a 1.57, and like I said, that 0.87 whip, 24 Ks in 28 innings. So he's been awesome. You see why he's a former All-Star. You see why he's a former top 15 pick. The guy has it. He knows how to pitch. And he was even noted, I think during the broadcast or during the game on Sunday, that his velo was down a little bit. And I know it was hot. I know it was humid there. But a professional like that being like, okay, I don't have that juice that I usually have. Like, some pitchers may panic and struggle and say, oh, I'm at 91, 92 when I'm usually at 94, 95. Like, he was like, I got it. I'm good. He still struck out 6. And again, was able to navigate through a good lineup and went scoreless in it for him. So awesome stuff there from Trevor Rogers. I really, really, really hope he's like I said, he's an X factor. If he can keep this up, he's not going to pitch to a 1.57 forever. I think we know that. If he does, great. He'll be a Hall of Famer. But again, if he can just keep pitching like this and keep them in games into the 6th inning and let the bullpen eat, that's awesome. So again, good for him. Happy for him. Like I said, I pointed out earlier, but 24-15 in the last 39 games. They're playing some good baseball right now. At times it seems like they're not. You think back to that Texas series and you're like, oh, they lost that second game. They got killed. Just weird baseball they play. And again, with the Mets coming up, that's the series that's starting tomorrow. 3-game set, 6:35. 7 o'clock on ESPN on Wednesday. I think Tuesday is the Hawaiian shirt game. That's going to be a big one. There's some giveaway, I think, Wednesday night. And then Thursday is a day game with the captain, the Yacht Rock hat. So we'll see how that goes. But Brandon Young, 0-3 and a 7.02 ERA as a starter. As the opener for that game. Again, he'll go 2 or 3 innings and then kind of let it go to the bullpen. Versus Clay Holmes. I'm sorry, was it Clay Holmes who hit Kjerstad, I think, in the head? I think that's who it was. Clay Holmes, really good. He's on my fantasy team, so I've been paying attention. 8-4, 2.99. Again, the Orioles have really only seen him as the Yankees closer, but they'll get a look at him as a Met now. And again, he's starting that game for him. So Sagano on Wednesday versus David Peterson. 6-4 with a 3.18 ERA. A lefty. So again, they've knock on wood, they've hit better against lefties. They've also hit better against with runners in scoring position. I think they're climbing that list slowly but surely. So again, they're it seems like they're putting it together. It may be too little, too late. Again, the trade deadline is rapidly approaching. We are at the All-Star break. I mean, this is the final 2 series, the Mets and the Marlins. But again, you got Sagano and Peterson then. And then Thursday, the day game, Grandpa Charlie, 5-7, that 5.47 ERA, but under 3, again, in the last month or so, month and a half. So again, and the Mets are TBD. So if we can get the Mets on a bullpen game, maybe they can get to Clay Holmes in game 1 and the bullpen kind of is able to put something together after following Young. And go from there. Again, if you can win the first game of the series, you kind of take control, and it'll be interesting from there. Again, the Mets are up and down too. If you follow Frank the Tank, if you follow anyone baseball, you know how bad the Mets have been. Obviously, they took 2 or 3 from the Yankees this weekend, but I'm really anxious to see what Frank thinks about the Orioles and what he'll come up with there. So again, Juan Soto has been on fire. He had an incredible month of June. I think like the second or third best month that a hitter for the Mets has ever had. And again, so the Orioles will have to navigate that lineup. Pete Alonso still hitting the hell out of the ball. Francisco Lindor. So it could be a fun series. And like you said, I think you hope for 2 out of 3. Sagano, if Sagano he struggled. I know someone said it earlier in the chat. I'm trying to find it. Sagano has been struggling. I don't know if it's the heat. I don't know if it's kind of the book is out on him and they're catching up to him. 4.4 ERA now, but he's 6-5. But again, he is not the same Sagano that we've seen. His last 7 starts, he's 2-2 with a 6.75 ERA. Again, you'd hope that comes down. I'm just like, I mean, his last 3 games, 10 hits, 9 hits, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 7 earned runs, 3 earned runs. So you hope that we get the Sagana that we saw in April and May and not the one that we saw in June. And you kind of go from there. And then again, you just hope that we keep seeing the same from Charlie. We'll do a little trade deadline talk. Jaden Mast, buyers or sellers? I think both. I could see them selling. I think some of the bullpen guys are going to go. I would love to keep Sir Anthony. I think he goes. I think Gregory Soto goes. I think it could be Ryan O'Hearn after the All-Star break, or after, when he gets that trip. Congrats to him. As always, that's awesome to see him get elected starting DH in the All-Star game. Again, this is a guy who you may be hearing from him sometime soon here, but he told us when we were at Jimmy's and we did the Meet the Birds event, he goes, I was the worst player on the worst team in baseball when he was on some of those Royals teams. And he was saying how, every time he struck out, he thought that could be the end of his career. And he thought that at times that his career was over. He gets traded to the Orioles. He's playing golf. He gets a call from Elias and he thinks it's like his welcome to the team call. He ends up getting DFA'd there. The Orioles pick him back up, send him to AAA. Doesn't make the team out of spring, but the rest is history. All he's done is become maybe the best hitter the Orioles have had since the beginning of 23 or 24. But again, he's awesome. So like I said, I talked to him about, he played on the worst team in baseball and he got dropped right into the middle of the lineup on a team that won 101 games and made it into the playoffs. So teams are always looking for lefty guys. He's played a really, I don't know what the metrics say. I'm sure the metrics are going to say he's not great, but I think he's played a good first base. He's made a lot of nice plays over there while Mounty's been out. So good for him. That's awesome. Cedric, I don't know. I could see them moving him. I think I've said it before, but like, is it worth it to trade Cedric, a guy like Ced, for like, a double-A pitcher for the Phillies or something like that? I don't know. It's not my decision to make. You're not going to get a great return for them. I don't think you're going to really get a great return for anyone. So we'll see. But again, I do think we see some of the bullpen guys go, probably Soto. I think they could also buy as well. So I think the Rays kind of do this every year where they trade a guy and then they get somebody back and they make some moves and somehow they still find themselves in the playoff hunt. So I don't know. We'll see. It will be an interesting deadline. Charlie Morton could get traded. Think about that sentence 2 months ago. Charlie Morton could be on the block. Teams are looking for veteran guys who have been there. They talked about it, with him in Atlanta. He has won World Series games. He has started World Series games. He has, he's been there. So he's a veteran who knows what he's doing and he has found it again. The spin rate, and he threw the curveball with the most spin, the most RPMs or whatever, that he's ever thrown. And so, he's whatever he was lacking early on, he found it. And he seems to be, pitching like he's a young Charlie Morton again. So who knows? A team may trade for him. So we'll see. But I definitely expect some guys to go. I think we're going to get some new guys in and we'll kind of see, we'll kind of go from there. Again, I talked about the All-Star Holliday snub-ish, maybe not. I think after the last couple of weeks, you could say, no, that sounds about right. Again, Jazz Chisholm making it, whatever. He's not, I don't think Junior Caminero should have made it over him at third, but second base, Brandon Lau played awesome. So good for him for making it. Maryland guy, or Terp guy. But like I said, allow Jackson to rest, allow Gunnar to rest. Gunnar was never going to make it. Adley wasn't going to make it. None of the other guys I think were, but again, we don't need all the flashy lights and pictures and red carpet stuff. I think, this team is pretty, hopefully they're focused on winning and can kind of go from there. Again, the injuries of catchers, they made a trade after Gary Sanchez got hurt. They made a trade for, is his name Alex Jackson? I think I'm looking for it now. Alex Jackson. for international bonus pool money and a player to be named or cash considerations are always a fan favorite, cash considerations. But Jackson comes over from the Yankees. Former first-round pick, I think he was a top 15 pick too or something. 29-year-old. Again, I'm really just reading about him now. But again, Maverick Hanley, you saw he got smoked by Jazz, put on the IL with the concussion. You had Chadwick Trump getting hurt with a back injury in like sprained back, I think, or something in his back, strained back muscle in Texas. And then, of course, Gary Sanchez. They didn't really know what happened. He banged his knee on that weird box thing in Atlanta, and then he had that play at home plate where he kind of, he landed on it. I don't know. It was a weird play, but I think it was a right knee strain for Gary. So, yeah, right knee sprain in the game on Saturday. So this is they now have 6 catchers on the 40-man. I've never seen a position group like this just get hurt over and over and over and over, and there's really nothing you can do with any of them. The oblique, the concussion, a right knee sprain, there's nothing you can do. It's just the luck of the draw, and boy, are they getting their shit kicked in right now by injuries with that. So, again, you ideally, you would hope Adley's back in sometime the next month. I know they said All-Star break, but it's kind of been quiet, so I don't really know what's going on with that. And again, Gary was awesome, man. The last week, Gary giveth and Gary taketh away, and boy, did we see that. Again, his defense, it leaves a lot to be desired. But the offense, his bat was really, really good. He was coming through. I thought there was a chance he could be the AL Player of the Week, I think, last week. But again, sucks for him. We do have Jacob Stallings, all as well in catcher land with Jacob Stallings and Alex Jackson. So go frickin' figure. Again, a guy, these guys haven't caught a lot of the players. They haven't known them for that long. I'm sure Stallings caught Felix for the first time, and it's a weird situation. Mansolino had a great quote where they asked him, like, what's it like getting all these catchers? Like, it's like getting a center in the middle of the season, in the NFL season. Like, these guys there has to be some camaraderie. You can't just throw to these guys and not know them and know what they like and what they like to throw and all that. And Mansolino said, it's like drinking out of a fire hose, which is a very funny quote there. Any word on Grayson? I know they said he was throwing a bullpen. And I think they said he was throwing fastballs. He was throwing off-speed stuff, breaking stuff too. So that was in Atlanta, I believe Friday or Saturday. I don't know when. So again, that seems no news is good news there, I think. And again, same thing with Bradish. I believe Bradish went down to Sarasota to kind of start ramping up and getting going. So I know August was always the month for him. Tyler Wells, I don't know about. I haven't heard anything there. But again, I mean, man, if they can get 2 of those 3 guys back, even one of them would be a massive help. And again, I don't know what the roster move will be, what you do with these guys, but I think the team will obviously be much better with those guys on it. And again, hopefully we can start seeing their names pop up and start getting some of them back. But again, we've talked about it at length, but man, have these guys been killed by injury. And real quick, too, we won't go too much longer. I got to hop on another podcast around 7. But the Samuel Basallo talk, and they get people getting upset. He's not up. Let me pull this up. He's only caught 21 games. He's played 57 games this year. He's caught 21 of them. So, again, he's not catching every day. I know, obviously, so he's caught on the 4th of July. He played first. He was out of the lineup on Sunday, yesterday, before the injury to Gary happened. Saturday. He was already out of the lineup before then. So there was no Gary got hurt. We're scratching Basallo. He was already out. The lineup was out and he was already out. But he played first on Friday. He caught on Thursday. On Tuesday, he caught. And on Sunday, he caught. Then he played first. And then he caught on the 27th. I don't know what day that was. So again, they're still kind of easing him in. Obviously, the bat it seems ready. He's batting .253 with a .372 OBP, 51 Ks, 36 walks, the 16 home runs, the 38 RBIs. Those are very sexy numbers. Again, it's just what I've heard and what I've been told is like he's not great catching, and he's still working on a lot of stuff. And it seems very easy to just say just throw him in and let him catch and let him get his lumps. You can do that with Kobe Mayo at first base, or you can do that with Cowser in the outfield. I feel like if you're taking a guy like this and giving him Charlie Morton, I don't want to speak for the pitchers. Maybe they don't want to pitch to a guy. And again, it's not like I'm not doing that. I'm not pitching to that guy. But like we saw it with Corbin last year where they kind of picked their favorites. I think pitching to a guy like that who they may not know that well, and again, you don't know their tendencies or what they like to do and all that. I think it's tough. I think it's tough in the big leagues trying to catch, and a guy who is not great doing it in the minors, getting called up and just getting thrown into the lineup, and catching, some of these guys in essentially what is a playoff race where they have to win all these games and all these series. That's tough, and they, you want to talk about killing a guy's confidence and really putting a damper on him. He may be down at AAA being like, I'm the man. I got this shit down. And then when he gets up to the big leagues, it's like, man, it's a whole nother ball game. And that may just, we've seen it over and over. Guys' confidence just gets killed. And then it starts Heston. And then it starts carrying into their offensive performance. And then they're striking out on 3 pitches. And every at bat is 4 pitches and it's strikeout, So it's tough. And I do believe we'll see him this summer. I just don't right now. I don't think it's the right time to put him up. And I know that the Orioles need to win these games and maybe he helps them win with the bat. I think it would be similar to Gary on defense. And again, we see these, I'm getting sent clips of him throwing these guys out in the minors by like 10 feet. And it's like, you can't compare, the guys in the minors running on him to the guys in the majors. It is a completely different game and speed. So as much as I want to see him up here, and I think we will, I've been told he is Yordan Alvarez Jr. He is going to hit balls. Maybe he hits the warehouse. I know he loves hitting the right center and center. He's going to pelt the scoreboard when he's up here. But catching, and it's a different game, man. It is very, very tough to do that on the fly and adapt on the fly and catch these guys that you may not know or haven't really caught and don't have a relationship. Charlie nailed it. The chemistry is very important. I understand why they're not bringing up. It is funny because again, you look and there's like Alex Jackson, Jacob Stallings, Maverick Kenley. It's everyone but Samuel Basallo. And we kind of went through the same thing when they were calling up Rylan Bannon and before gone, all that stuff. Like there, it's especially with a top guy like this. I feel like you have to be so careful. And you got to get it right. You got to get the timing right. So maybe we see him sometime soon. Personally, again, I would love it if he's up with Adley and Gary. Again, we can crap on Gary all we want. This guy is a winner. He's been in the playoffs plenty of times. He's advanced deep in the playoffs. He's won series. He's won playoff games. He's lost playoff games. 4 teams single-handedly lost them games. Like we've seen him lose games this year. But again, the Basallo thing, I get it. I fully understand. It'll be all right. He'll be up and it'll be all right. So again, I'm kind of looking through questions, confidence and stuff, but yeah, again, it's the Orioles they're playing better. Again, they kind of hit that rough patch with the Texas series and the weird Tampa Bay. Well, they won that series, but again, this is baseball, and again, you see it now. But the Yankees are playing pretty bad. The Blue Jays are hotter than hot. They're first place now. Tampa Bay is still hot, and Boston is finding themselves again. So again, they're 11.5 back in the division. The wild card, I believe they are still 7.5 back with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams ahead of them. So let me see it. I know Jacob has had some good tweets. Paul Mancano as well, kind of detailing where they are. Here we go. Jacob, Orioles pitcher with a baseball reference WAR over 1. It is Trevor Rogers, and that is it. Charlie, do we get any rain delays this week? I don't know if you saw my tweet earlier. There is not a dry day in sight this week, so who knows? We'll see. That'll be interesting. But here we go. Matt Wayrich, too. Or best records in baseball in the American League since May 24th. Astros number 1 at 28-10. Blue Jays at 26-13. The Rays 24-15, and tied for 4th are the Orioles and Tigers, 24-16. The Tigers are 23-15. So, and again, Jacob said this on June 5th. The Orioles were 7.5 back of a wild card spot after winning their 6th straight game. 1 month later, the Orioles are 7 games back, and they were 7 back, and then they eventually dropped down here, back to 7.5 back. But again, that's just kind of the hole you dig. I mean, they, like I said, they have no one to blame but themselves. And man, Charlie Morton looked like he was going to cry when he talked about he said, man, if I could have just won 2 or 3 of my starts early on, we wouldn't be in this position and down this bad. And I think everyone can kind of look at that, and it's all, there's nothing you can do now about early in the season and the shit pumpings that happened then, but you just kind of got to put it beside, behind you and keep going. So, again, that's the hole you dig when you're 18 games under 500 at one point, and you got to crawl your way out of that hole with 8 teams or whatever it was ahead of you. So they're trying their best. They're fighting like hell to do it and save this season. Again, it may just be a little too little, too late. Like Ryan Ripken and I said when we have our what's it called, our JoJo playlist on Spotify. Go check that out if you haven't heard it. But yeah, again, just got to keep winning these series. Like O'Hearn said a couple weeks ago, make up a game or 2 a week, and they haven't been able to do that. But there's still time, and they're doing their damnedest. So time is running out. It is getting late quick, and yeah, we'll have to see what they can do against the Mets, and then again how they can finish out the first half against the Marlins. And the Marlins have been playing well too. I think they just rolled off like 7 or 8 in a row. I think 8 in a row maybe. And again, the blonde-haired boy, our favorite Stanford son, Kyle Stowers, going to the All-Star game. So yeah, that'll be fun to watch him play here. I'm sure he'll get a great ovation, as he should, and we'll go from there. But again, I have to run. I'm hopping on another pod right after this. But again, look out. We got an interview coming up this week. We'll try and get that out maybe Wednesday, maybe tomorrow night. I don't know, with an Oriole. So we'll get that out there for you. But I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing. As always, appreciate everyone in the chat bearing with us. It's been a funky schedule. The summer is very, very up and down for us. And we got weddings going on and bachelor parties and vacations and work and all that. So bear with us. We'll get to you as many times as we can. Let me see if I can. I can't pull that off, what Jake does with all our damn Twitter names and stuff. I don't even have it all. As always, follow me on Twitter at EDITTI22. Here it is. Follow the podcast, Exit 52, at Barstool Banks, getting married in Milwaukee in a couple weeks, so we will be up there for that. At Taylor Smythe 10, who's just overseas in Scotland, I think. At Jake, Luke, and then at Ravens 4 Dummies with Spenny. As always, again, they'll be coming to you with some Raven stuff as that season kicks up. Again, follow us on all the social media platforms. Jimmy's Famous Seafood, as always. Again, I think there was like 10 tickets left for the Meet the Birds with Adam on July 24th. That one may just turn into a full-out party. I don't know how that one is going to go. I'm very excited for that one. But again, as always, I appreciate all of you guys popping in, mixing it up on Twitter. Always, you guys are the best. So we appreciate it, and hopefully we will talk to you on Thursday after another series win. So we'll see what the O's can do. Enjoy the rest of your night, folks, and we'll talk soon. See ya.